Perfect aspect. Perfect aspect is concerned with the speaker's perspective on the relationship between one time frame and an event that takes place in another time frame. An event which took place in the past may be seen as relevant to the present moment. Likewise, an event due to take place in the future may be seen as linked to the present moment. Perfect aspect involves the use of auxiliary have plus ed participle of the lexical verb. The tense may be present or past. Future perfect forms are created using will or shall. Examples of perfect aspect. I've lived here about 25 years. The whole period from 25 years. The flight is at 7:15. They've changed the time. The time change happened between some unspecified point in the past and now. I had finished just before I went to work. The time I finished in relation to the time in the past when I went to work. That was about 1936. That was when we came to Stockport. We had lived in Manchester before that. The time we lived in Manchester in relation to 1936. Yesterday and tomorrow all together I will have spent £100 on train fares. Future perfect. Yesterday and the period up to and including tomorrow. In 3 years' time, we'll have lived here 20 years. Future perfect. The time between when we started living here and 3 years in the future from now. They may have been confused. Model perfect. A possible event during a time leading up to now or up to a point in the past. The present perfect. The declarative and interrogative forms of the present perfect simple are shown in here. The present perfect, declarative and interrogative forms. I've worked. Informal, declarative, affirmative. I have worked. More formal, declarative, affirmative. You have worked. Informal, declarative, affirmative. You have worked. More formal, declarative, affirmative. They've worked. Informal, declarative, affirmative. They have worked. More formal, declarative, affirmative. We have worked. Informal, declarative, affirmative. We have worked. More formal, declarative, affirmative. I haven't worked. informal, negative. You haven't worked, informal, negative. They haven't worked, negative, informal. We haven't worked, negative, informal. They haven't worked, negative, informal. We haven't worked, negative, informal. I have not worked, more formal, negative. You have not worked, more formal, negative. We have not worked, more formal, negative. They have not worked, more formal, negative. They have not worked, more formal, negative. Have I worked, interrogative, affirmative. Have you worked, interrogative, affirmative. Have we worked, interrogative, affirmative. Have they worked, interrogative, affirmative. Haven't I worked, informal, negative. Haven't you worked, informal, negative. Haven't we worked, informal, negative. Haven't they worked, informal, negative. Have I worked, more formal, negative. Have you worked, more formal, negative. Have they worked, more formal, negative. Have I not worked, more formal, negative. Have you not worked, more formal, negative. Have they not worked, more formal, negative. Have we not worked, more formal, negative. Have they not worked, more formal, negative. He's worked, informal, declarative, affirmative. She's worked, informal, declarative, affirmative. It's worked, informal, declarative, affirmative. One's worked, informal, declarative, affirmative. He has worked, more formal, declarative, affirmative. She has worked, more formal, declarative, affirmative. It has worked, more formal, declarative, affirmative. One has worked, more formal, declarative, affirmative. He hasn't worked, informal, negative. She hasn't worked, negative, informal. It hasn't worked, informal, negative. One hasn't worked, informal, negative. He's not worked, informal, negative. She's not worked, informal, negative. It's not worked, informal, negative. One's not worked, informal, negative. He has not worked, more formal, negative. She has not worked, more formal, negative. It has not worked, more formal, negative. One has not worked, more formal, negative. Has he worked, interrogative, affirmative. Has she worked, interrogative, affirmative. Has she worked, interrogative, affirmative. Has it worked, interrogative, affirmative. Has one worked, interrogative, affirmative. Hasn't he worked, informal, negative. Hasn't she worked, informal, negative. Hasn't it worked, informal, negative. Hasn't it worked, informal, negative. Hasn't one worked, informal, negative. Has he not worked, more formal, negative. Has she not worked? More formal negative. Has it not worked? More formal negative. Has one not worked? More formal negative. The past aspect. The past perfect. The past perfect. The past perfect simple forms are the same as the present perfect, but with had being used instead of have and has, and had being used as the contracted form. The, the past perfect declarative and interrogative forms. I'd already started. Informal declarative affirmative. You'd already started. Informal declarative affirmative. We'd already started. Informal declarative affirmative. They'd already started. Informal declarative affirmative. I had already started. More formal declarative affirmative. You had already started. Declarative affirmative, more formal. They had already started. More formal declarative affirmative. I'd already started. Declarative affirmative, informal. You'd already started. Informal declarative affirmative. We'd already started. Informal declarative affirmative. They'd already started. Informal declarative affirmative. I had already started. More formal declarative affirmative. You had already started. More formal declarative affirmative. We had already started. More formal declarative affirmative. They had already started. More formal declarative affirmative. I hadn't already started. Informal negative. You hadn't already started. Informal negative. We hadn't already started. Informal negative. They hadn't already started. Informal negative. I'd not already started. Informal negative. You'd not already started. Informal negative. We'd not already started. Informal negative. They'd not already started. Informal negative. I had not already started. More formal negative. You had not already started. More formal negative. We had not already started. More formal negative. They had not already started. More formal negative. We had not already started. More formal negative. Had I already started? Interrogative affirmative. Had you already started? Interrogative affirmative. Had we already started? Interrogative affirmative. Had they already started? Interrogative affirmative. Had we already started? Interrogative affirmative. Had they already started? Interrogative affirmative. Had we already started? Interrogative affirmative. Interrogative affirmative. Hadn't I started? Informal negative. Hadn't you started? Hadn't you already started? Informal negative. Hadn't they already started? Informal negative. Hadn't you already started? Negative affirmative. Hadn't we already started? Negative affirmative. Hadn't we already started? Negative. Hadn't I already started? Negative. Hadn't you already started? Negative. Hadn't we already started? Negative. Hadn't they already started? Negative. Hadn't I already started? Negative. Hadn't you already started? Negative. Hadn't we already started? Negative. Hadn't they already started? Negative. Had I not already started? More formal negative. Had you not already started? More formal negative. Had we not already started? More formal negative. Had they not already started? More formal negative. Had I not already started? More formal negative. Had you not already started, more formal negative. Had we not already started, more formal negative. Had they not already started, more formal negative. He'd already started, informal declarative affirmative. She'd already started, informal declarative affirmative. It had already started, informal declarative affirmative. One had already started, informal declarative affirmative. She'd already started, informal declarative affirmative. He'd already started, informal declarative affirmative. She had not already started, more formal declarative affirmative. She had already started, more formal declarative affirmative. It had already started, more formal declarative affirmative. One had already started, more formal declarative affirmative. He had already started, more formal declarative affirmative. She had already started, more formal declarative affirmative. It had already started, more formal declarative affirmative. He hadn't already started, negative. She hadn't already started, negative. It hadn't already started, negative. One hadn't already started, negative. He'd not already started, informal negative. She'd not already started, informal negative. It had not already started, informal negative. One had not already started, informal negative. He hadn't already started, informal negative. She hadn't already started, negative, informal. One hadn't already started, informal negative. It hadn't already started, informal negative. He hadn't already started, informal negative. She hadn't already started, informal negative. He has not already started, more formal negative. Had he already started, interrogative affirmative. Had she already started, interrogative affirmative. Had she already started, interrogative affirmative. Had it already started, interrogative affirmative. Had one already started, interrogative affirmative. Had he already started, interrogative affirmative. Had she already started, interrogative affirmative. Had it already started, interrogative affirmative. Had one already started, interrogative affirmative. Hadn't he already started, negative, informal negative. Hadn't she already started, informal negative. Hadn't it already started, negative, informal. Hadn't one already started, informal negative. Hadn't he already started, informal negative. Hadn't she already started, informal negative. Hadn't it already started, informal negative. Hadn't one already started, informal negative. Had not already started, had he not already started, more formal negative. Had she not already started, more formal negative. Had it not already started, more formal negative. Had one not already started, more formal negative. Had he not already started, more formal negative. Had she not already started, more formal negative. Had it not already started, more formal negative. Had one not already started, more formal negative. Had she not already started, more formal negative. Had he not already started, more formal negative. Perfect infinitive. The infinitive form of the perfect aspect following verbs such as hope, intend, like, seem, and other structures requiring an infinitive is formed with to have plus ed participle. For example, I was hoping to have finished by now. They don't seem to have solved all the other problems. Are you supposed to have fed the dog? The perfect aspect may also occur in a non-tensed ing form. For example, having arrived eventually in Salt Lake City at 5:30 a.m. and walked around for a couple of hours, I wandered into a downtown supermarket.